there's a big plan for Canadian. They're fast asleep and they're not even seeing it. That the people with plans with Canada can be as bold as saying it like in plain daylight, in front of the camera, in front of the world, that they have infiltrated our government. So that means not just one party, but all parties. But I believe that's not quite all parties, as I recently became to realize or feel. So I was clear until recently on the fact that both liberals and PP, Poiliev, were compromised with the WEF. Like, both parties are, and both leaders, and a lot of the ministers. It's unreal. Like what are we doing? As like, you want to be Canadian proud? That would be one thing to be proud of, to not have an infiltrated government, not have a person that has nothing to do with Canada tell you in your face, oh yeah, I've infiltrated your government, your parties, you know? And where's the pride in that? Both parties, both platforms are clear on how important the government has to be in our lives. And the liberals, they go as far as being outright plain blank, you know, written black on white, that they're going to vaccinate people before letting them use public transportation or access public facilities. So if everybody that's going to be voting liberal are rapists, in the sense that they're willing to tell you you must put something that is none of their business in your body. They might as well put the needle themselves, you know, they're rapists. And so if you're not voting liberal, remember that these people that will vote for that are rapists. I don't know if I should put that on YouTube, but it's a strong opinion. A lot of people would be like offended by me calling them rapists, but to me, if you're forcibly injected a substance against your will in your body, you've been raped. You've been violated. Your body is your own. It doesn't belong to anybody. Nobody can tell you or force you. The minute you're forced with your body, that's a rape. If you're going to vote for liberals, before like feeling offended, think about what I'm saying. Consider it anyway. While the NDP, the jackmeat, he's not even Canadian, you know, like do we have a problem of, you know, on purpose bringing a lot of immigrants to destabilize our society? Yes, it's not mismanagement, it's like by design that this is happening, and it's happening because of Trudeau, and he never hid from being a prodigy from the web, you know. Freeland is even on their board. Like, come on guys, where's your Canadian pride in that? I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I don't think Maxim and the PPC will win. I don't know. That's who I voted for. After I saw his interview with Tucker, Carlson. I watched more videos where he was talking from different interviewers, you know, across time, and we're on the same page practically on everything, and I can feel that he wants what I want. He doesn't want us to live 1984. He doesn't want his masters are not in the web. He's free from that. And you know, some people, they've been brainwashed into thinking that because he was there in Davos under the order of his prime minister when he was a minister, that makes him a WEF. And you know, that kind of people, it's like going to Davos in Switzerland makes you a WEF. It's not going to Davos, that meeting, that makes you a WEF. What makes you a WEF is to be on their website and even trying to dismiss it or outright, you know, say that it's a lie. That is insane, you know, or be on the board. Same thing with Tam being on the board of the WHO. Like, what the hell? Where's Canada Pride? So these people cannot be trusted, because it doesn't matter if you vote Liberal or Conservative or NDP. They all are part of the same organization that has nothing to do with Canada or democracy. They're like a villain organization, just like in the Bond movies. Really, like, it's insane. But the only problem in our case is James Bond is dead. We don't have somebody that's gonna save us at the last minute. We have to do it. We have to not put up with those bastards that are trying to rob us and enslave us worse than people were in the Middle Ages being served. We're actually already worse than the people in the Middle Ages being served. At least back then they were not being poisoned on purpose. Those poles are like attention seekers, and then they grab your attention, and then they make you feel good or they make you feel bad, and then throughout the whole campaign, or even long before, or even during, it makes you go like feel good or feel bad. It controls your emotions, and all of that just not based on reality, just based on control, how they want to make us feel. So just by printing lies. So what I'm thinking a lot about is how, you know, when will I draw the line saying that's it, I have to get out of here, meaning out of Canada, you know, because in this kind of situation, it's not when everybody decides to move out that it's time to move out. It's to be before that. The odds are better. So I assume a lot of people are probably thinking like myself, like, how are we gonna do this if they start demanding your passport, or proving that you're vaccinated to get on the bus? Can you imagine that? They're like, no, we're not forcing you to get vaccinated. We're forcing you to show that you're vaccinated. It's not the same thing. Yeah. That's the logic of the rapist. How they justify being crazy. When is it that we're gonna say, okay, that's it, we cut our losses and we're out of here? And in what circumstances? You know, we have our animals, we have our land. We have to see it coming a year, at least a year ahead. And a year is like not giving us a lot of time to organize, you know, to minimize the cost of relocating. And what does it mean with the people that voted for that? You know, what's gonna be my relationship with them? You know, I cannot how do you look at a rapist if you yourself have like the honor and discipline and courage to not let yourself go that way at all, ever? You never give yourself permission to behave like a rapist does.
Start GPS connected.
So, as I said, I have never voted, and it's out of conviction. And I didn't vote because my convictions changed. I really feel that doesn't matter what we vote, really. The Liberals, Carney's going to win. That's my prediction, if you ask me. But my prediction is also biased, because in reality, since the three major parties and the Green have been infiltrated by the WEF, it really doesn't matter who wins. The WEF wins. And what really, like, I never thought I was gonna vote ever. But what's different this time is it's so oppressive what they want to do to us, and I'm not gonna let them. I'm not gonna take it, you know. And the only way that I have to feel that I have made my peace and said my words, what I needed to say, is by voting. But it's not because I believe it's gonna make a difference. I'm not voting because I'm voting to remain true to myself, because I know I'm gonna have said something against those measures, whatever these measures might be, but as coercive they're going to be. So for that kind of stuff, I say no to the bullies. I say yes to freedom. And now the bullies are cheaters. We all know that. But at least my voice will have been heard. Because think about that, in the last elections, I think it's like 73% of people had not voted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but even if it's not 73, we all know that it's a lot of people. So I'm not the only one that has never voted or has never bothered to vote. And the message can be heard if, you know, more people feel like me, where they don't believe in those elections. It's nothing is democratic about it, but they wouldn't be able to live with themselves if they find out themselves in a world like 1984 and they didn't say anything to at least be heard. We have to be heard. Remember, the fringe minority during the convoy, that was a lot of people. And the reason why we were there, we were tired, sick and tired of the government coercion into pushing us to get vax and all that stuff. And now we know that COVID was a hoax, a big hoax. It's like out in the open, and it, you know, people are so sleepy that they're not even willing to acknowledge, you know, the truth and the huge consequences that it continues to have in our day-to-day life 5 years later. But if you, like me, feel like maybe your word has to be heard just for the sake of it, make sure you check what Maxim is saying and what he represents. There's a reason why they didn't let him come on the debates, and there's a reason why you don't hear from him in the normal news. And just that is like a big alarm. It should be anyway, because here in Canada, well, there's just only a few journalists, and they are independent. Independent means that the government doesn't subsidize them. All the other media in Canada are subsidized by the government. And Poliev is saying he's gonna defund them, so they're not reporting accurately on Poliev. But that's just the game of the web. Give the illusion of opposites when in fact it's the same thing. So if you're Team Canada, you want to vote for somebody that's going to care about Canada, not an organization that has nothing to do with Canada. And there's only one party, then you can vote in Canada. It's the PPC. Don't let anybody telling you that you're gonna split the vote. You fucking never voted. How can you split anything? You never voted. Vote with your heart. Don't vote with your head. That's gonna try to tell you to vote conservative. It's the same crap. Poliev is just the same whiff as Carney. One of the things that maybe most Canadians don't know, but if somebody goes in your home with a gun and tries to like is physical with you while they rob you, you do not have the right to defend yourself. You cannot defend yourself. If you do, you become the aggressor and you become guilty of going to jail. So this is like pure insanity. Like, it's even surprising that it has existed for this long, you know? Like, what kind of people agrees to that? Really, what kind? Nobody tells that to their children in elementary school when they're being bullied, to just take it. If somebody bullies you, you have to take action. You have to fight the bullies. Maxim recognizes and wants to make that a law that we, just like the Americans, all neighbors, can do. If somebody comes in on your property, you can defend yourself with a gun. And you know, that just makes sense. Like, what makes no sense is, yeah, you're supposed to take it. Yeah. What kind of world does that make for? You know? But the kind of world where you can defend yourself, that makes a different kind of world too. That's more the kind of people that are biting directly in life, you know?